Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today for another process video. I'm going to be working with my February hip kit on this layout, and right now I am putting clear gesso on a white piece of cardstock that came in the kit, and then I just pulled out my cheap watercolors by Artist Loft. I have some more expensive ones, but these tend to look better, I think, when you're trying to go for a super messy look. So anyways, I'm just coloring some of the background here, and I'm just getting different shades of pink. At first I started mixing them in the little palette, but I decided, never mind, I'll just go with it. And so I'm just picking different shades and just painting back and forth on the paper. I was trying to channel my inner Missy Whidden. It didn't work quite as well as it does for her. She's a professional at it, so I'll just have to practice more at being messy with watercolors because she's got it down to an art. I do like making the splatters with watercolor. That's a lot of fun. So I might be doing that more often now. So I switched from the pink now to like a shade of teal, and I'm just putting some of those drops on around the page, just sprinkling them around. And I did use my heat gun some, and it warped my paper pretty bad. So I just took a blank piece of white cardstock, and I'm just adhering my page with the watercolors and the clear gesso. I'm just adhering that to that other piece of cardstock. And I'm going to get it stuck down. It's not stuck down exactly perfectly, and I apologize for the movie shaking a little bit there. But anyways, you can't tell it's not stuck down perfectly when you see it in a picture. So now I'm cutting up some of the papers. I love that black and white stripe, so I'm kind of using that on the right side as a grounding piece. And then I'm going to take this polka dot piece, and I think that's a Webster's Pages Beautiful Chic line, and I'm just roughing it up with my scissors. I couldn't find my Tim Holtz distressor, so I just picked up my scissors and started using those instead, and it worked. So I'm going to put that down over that stripe, and then I'm going to go to this flowered piece, which is from the Amy Tan Stitched collection, and that's another one of my favorite pieces of paper, and I think I have about 3 of them because I love that piece of paper so much. Anyways, I roughed up the edges on that as well. So now I'm trying to just figure out placement so I can get them all stuck down, and I ripped off a little bit more on that polka dot piece because I just didn't like that it was covering so much of the flowers and it seemed too straight, so I just ripped some off, and then I just used my ATG and I'm going to glue that down. And now I'm going to get the flowered piece, the Amy Tan stitched piece, I'm going to get that put on. So I just turned my layout to make it easier to get it up under that other piece of paper and get it lined up straight. So I'm going to get that stuck down. And now I just rough up the edges a little bit more, just give it more of a distressed feel. And so now I'm just looking at my picture and seeing what I want to do. And this is actually a picture of my daughter when she was in 3rd grade. She's almost about to finish 4th grade, but this was a Halloween parade in 3rd grade. And that's her with one of her little friends. And I loved the blue in her little friend's dress, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this goes perfect with those Heidi Swap letters that we got in the kit. So I just was trying to figure out what I wanted to mount that photo on, and I was messing with some of the papers in the 6x6 pad from the We Are Memory Keepers Love Notes collection, but I'm going to decide right now to mount it on that piece of polka dot paper, which I think is from my mind's eye. Not positive on that. But now I'm going to play around and get a couple different pieces of papers from that 6x6 pad and play around with them some more and try and see what I really like. And I am going to go ahead and stick with the black and white piece, and I'm actually going to punch the sides of that with my scallop punch. That seems to be my favorite punch lately. I've been using it a ton. So I'm going to use that as another layer under my photo. And then eventually I'm going to pick out another piece to mat that on, but for now I'm just going to leave that other piece underneath. And I decided that I needed to put more of that striped paper on the other side because the left side was just kind of bare. So I'm just going over there and going to stick that real thin strip down. I just feel like it kind of balances out a little bit more. So there I pulled a different sheet from the 6x6 pad. I like that one, how it's looking better. So I'm just trimming it right now to cut off just a little bit so it has a little more of a layered look and the 6x6s don't line up exactly. So I've got that laid out there. Now I'm going through the mixed bag of embellishments, and I believe those are by My Mind's Eye from the Jubilee collection. So I really like the flowers in that, and for some reason I always head towards flowers. I gotta get away from that, but I love them. So, but anyways, I found a couple different pieces. I've got a pink flower up top, and I have a yellow flower down below, and so now I think I've found what I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on sticking my photo down so that I can then do my embellishments. So I'm matting my photo on that black and white piece of paper, and now I'm gonna mat all of that onto that like mint green and pink piece of paper. And then I'm going to take and put my dimensional adhesive on the back of that. Just give it a little bit of height, only because the side of the page I've got those strips of paper and they're all roughed up, so they've got a little dimension, so I want this to stand out. So then I play around with the placement and get it where I want it and stick that down. And I start looking at embellishments and looking at my title, trying to figure out where I want everything. So I've got a little banner down there in the left corner, and just trying to figure out all of the placement on that. So I pulled a piece of chipboard off of the Notes and Things chipboard, and I thought that went well with a nice pop of gold, and I'm going to put that pink flower right behind the gold there. And I just put a little dimensional adhesive on that so it was popped up. So I'm going to stick down the stuff in the left-hand corner where I've got the little banner with the flowers and get them stuck together as a little cluster, and then stick them down. And so once I get that all done, I'll move on from there. So now I'm going to put down my title, which is Beautiful Girls. So I'm doing the word beautiful in that bright blue glitter, which matches that blue dress perfectly. So I'm going to get all of those stuck down. They were a little bit difficult for me to work with. They didn't want to stick straight, so I finally just had to go with it and let them land however they landed, or else I was going to spend all day on that. Of course, I got to tweak them a little though. And I apologize, when I am doing my voiceovers on my iPhone, I can't always exactly see what I'm doing because it covers part of my screen. So sometimes it may not be totally in sync. I don't know why they do it that way, to cover your screen. Maybe there's another way to pull it down or something that I don't know of. If anybody knows, please leave a comment and let me know. But I'm gonna glue down those the gold tile thickers. And I actually already had a pack of those before I got this kit, but I had never opened them. So I am finally going to use the ones in the kit. And that's what I love about the kit, is just stuff that I may already have but I've never used. I just will break it out and use it now. And I don't know what it is. I guess I just feel like it kind of goes with the papers and stuff, and I don't have to worry about it matching or not. I know it matches because Kimberly's already picked it out and put it all together. So I'm now going to put some rub-ons on here because I was actually doing this for the weekly challenge on the Hip Kit Club page, and they do a weekly challenge every week, and I do it some weeks. Sometimes I don't have time, but you had to have certain elements on your page, and one of those was rub-ons. So I'm using some of the rub-ons that came in the kit, and I think those were in my mind's eye. And since they were at school, I decided to use the little globe up top because I really didn't have anything else to use it for. So I'm like, well, it's a school. They were at school when they had their parade, so we'll go ahead and do that. And when I go to stick it down, it doesn't all come off the little sheet. So I have to put it back down and match it up and then rub it again. And it's okay. You can't really notice it that much, but especially with the pink flower there. So now I thought I might try and put a 3 on there since they were in 3rd grade. So I was looking at the chipboard again, and that 3 was just way too big. So I ended up finding this little circle one that said 3 on it. And so I'm just trying to figure out where I might want to put that. And I'm going to go with putting it down in the left bottom cluster. So I'm just going to stick that on and get that there. And so now I'm going to look at the enamel dots that came in the kit, and they're from the Jubilee collection as well. And so I'm going to put some of those black ones on there around the layout, because that was also one of the things we had to use some enamel dots on there. So I'm just going to put them in 3 different areas. I don't really feel like you always have to do things in 3s. I was just trying to look for places on my layout where I thought they would really fit in well and where I could use a little extra pop. So I put them in those 3 spots. So now I'm going to do my journaling, and I decided to handwrite the journaling on here just because it's quicker sometimes. So I just use my T-square so I can get some straight lines. And I didn't have a whole lot of journaling to put on this because really it was just, their Halloween parade, and they were both looking pretty. And that's pretty much what I said. Short and sweet. And then once I do that, I'm also going to stamp the date. And originally I only intended to stamp it once, but when I did it, it didn't come out clear. So I ended up stamping a couple times, and then I said, well, I'll just stamp around the layout a little bit. So you'll see that I'm going to start down at the bottom, and I'm going to do some down there, and I think I'm using my Chamel date roller stamp. So now you see me, I'm doing it at the top, and I apologize, it's shaking again, I'm making my whole table shake. Once I have shelves, it'll be a little bit better, and then it won't shake anymore. So after that, I pull out my gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and I sprinkle a little bit of that around the layout, because of course, gotta have a little gold color shine. The dots that I sprinkled on before with the pink and the teal were just not enough. So anyways, here's some close-ups of the layout, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And everybody have a great day, and I hope to have some more process videos up soon when time permits me to do all the voiceovers and editing. Thanks for watching.